All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, one of the great albums from last year. I'm still plugging it because so far this year, folks, just hasn't been as good. I'm just being honest. If you haven't heard of Mecca, please check out this album, Everlasting, featuring the great Joe Vanna. This project, this band has been around now for, I think, at least 2 decades, maybe longer than that. Um, but Joe kind of studied under the great Jim Peterick. So you get some Survivor, you get some Toto, you might get a little bit of Giant in there as well and some other bands, but Toto and Survivor tend to be the two bands that are somewhat like Mecca. You might want to throw Pride of Lions in there since that's a more recent band with the great Jim Peterick, but just great music. If you like great AOR, as we like to call it, Mecca is like at the top of the AOR food pyramid, if there is an AOR food pyramid. Mecca and their album Everlasting, courtesy of Frontiers Music, right? All right. So, story here about Michael Anthony and David Lee Roth. Well, first of all, the headline reads that Michael Anthony hasn't spoken to David Lee Roth in years. And at one point during this little Q&A, he says that Dave is kind of a weird and crazy guy. Yeah. So I guess this was posted to YouTube. It was a question and answer session at the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp that took place back in March, which was just last month. Anthony says it's been quite some time since he's spoken to Roth. He says that the last time they talked was when there was a discussion about a possible reunion thing, with Anthony saying Roth and Alex Van Halen called him from manager Irving Azoff's office some years back. That would have been a pretty cool meeting. Azoff and Alex. Now, Alex doesn't do anything, and we keep hearing about how Alex doesn't want to be out on the road, but apparently he was interested and he wanted to be Roth as the singer, and trying to get Michael Anthony on board, and talking about Joe Satriani on guitar, who is now part of Sammy's version of this enterprise, which will be happening this summer. And tickets are, I guess, selling really well because you got Joe Satriani on guitar. And if you can't have Eddie Van Halen, which obviously you can't, a lot of people are happy with the choice of Joe Satriani. Anyway, Michael Anthony says that it was probably the last time he spoke with Dave was during that phone call. That was, a few years ago, he says. He doesn't know exactly the date, but it sounds like Anthony doesn't hold any ill will toward Dave, although he does describe him as kind of a crazy guy. He says, it's hard to explain Dave. We just don't have enough time, he says. I mean, I don't have anything against Dave, and I've said this in the past to different people, whatever, that if the chance ever came up, I would definitely be willing to jam with him or whatever. Anthony hasn't given up playing Van Halen music, of course. You know what's cool is he can sing lead vocals. Yeah, Michael Anthony can sing lead vocals. In fact, he can probably sing all of the Dave parts, all of the old Van Halen material. He can probably sing it better than Dave can sing it these days. Let's just be honest about this. Now, would it be cool to have Dave out there? Sure, but Dave's doing these cool dance move videos and these EDM songs and just weird kind of artistic stuff that he's been posting on YouTube. And then he does his little Roth show routine. And he does do some pretty good comedy, especially when he's talking about Wolfgang Van Halen. And I enjoy that stuff. I'm going to be honest. It's good to hear from Dave. But you know what? Dave does not want to be on the road. He unofficially retired, right? He said that his doctor told him to knock it off or something. We don't know what the issue is with Roth. I've done a couple of videos because most of the rock media just ignored when Roth said, "Hey, my doctor told me." Now, what's wrong? See, people don't care. This has been my premise. People don't care if someone just drops dead. There was a 25-year-old athlete, someone sent me yesterday, just drops dead. Cause of death? Cause unknown. We don't know. It's not really that important. He's just dead now. 25 and you don't care? That's not a story. That's not weird. So, Dave did his little health update thing, and people were like, okay. And they're thinking maybe Dave did too many drugs or partied too hard and just can't do what he used to do, which is all true, by the way, but it's probably not the real reason why Roth won't go out and tour with everybody. I think Sammy Hagar has this right when he says that Dave doesn't play nice with other people, and that's probably the truth. And Michael Anthony, who seems to be the nicest guy in the world, says, hey, I've got nothing wrong with Dave. I'd go and jam out with Dave. In fact, he was trying to go down to Dave's last Vegas residency and just randomly show up and jump up on stage. Who knows if Roth would have allowed that, though? Maybe he would have. I don't know. I'm thinking that Michael Anthony is one of these guys who just doesn't want to hold a grudge against anybody. He doesn't want people to think poorly of him. He probably should try to call Alex Van Halen too while he's at it, because there's some kind of a thing going on there, and it probably has to do with Ed. And so who knows? This is all just speculation, mindless speculation on a slow news day. Although, maybe it's not a slow news day. We lost Dickie Betts yesterday, and people are still talking about Dickie Betts because he was one of the greatest guitar players in, my lifetime. Really, he's one of those pioneering, just originals that is no longer with us. And maybe not everyone's favorite genre or style, but the Allman Brothers Band, just, I don't know, so underappreciated. This is one of the rare instances, by the way, where I hope people will stream the catalog. A lot of times when someone dies, people go, oh, I'm going to go listen to so-and-so because he died. In this case, if you haven't heard the work of Dickie Betts and Duane Allman, please go and listen to it. All right. And also check out Mecca while you're at it. Their album Everlasting. This is AOR. This isn't Southern rock at all. But, I'm sure Joe Vanna was influenced by a lot of American music just because, he puts pretty much everything into what he does. And so thus, even a guy like Dickie Betts or Duane Allman or a number of great musicians from the past who we are either forgetting about or losing, all of that influences what goes forward, at least from the people who are still trying to make this music, like Joe Vanna. All right. Trying to integrate all these different concepts. Thanks for watching the videos. Please subscribe to the channel. I think we just hit 77K. I don't know if that's official, but that's pretty cool. It only took like 3 months to go 1,000. So, I take what I can get. Some people, they're going in the opposite direction. Other people are going, by thousands, they're going up. I'm lucky that the algorithm still allows people to subscribe to the channel. So if you haven't, please subscribe. Make sure you check to see if you're getting notifications on videos. You hit the little drop down and you select all, and that should help the situation. Also, buy me a coffee, YouTube memberships, and Patreon. Haven't seen a new patron in a while. I've been talking to a lot of patrons this week, just going back and forth on various topics, including the 25-year-olds that are mysteriously leaving planet Earth because this is the new normal that we're living in. And by the way, I'm not supposed to talk about any of that stuff. I'm just stick to music, bro. That's it, man. Just stay in your lane, dude. All right. Well, sorry. Crosstown traffic here. Talk to you soon.